Hello my fellow gods and goddesses, welcome back to my channel. My name is Heather and today we are doing the makeup and books tag using my favorite makeup of 2019. So just as a preference before getting into the nitty-gritty, all of the products that I'm talking about aren't necessarily products that I found in 2019, but just products that I continue to use thoroughly in 2019. And I just wanted to document it somewhere because I am an avid makeup wearer. I really love makeup. I started my YouTube journey watching beauty gurus and all of that stuff, and I'm just curious to see if any of these products stick with me in 2020 or the new products that I find that maybe replace these products. And I also, in the next coming year, want to do more seasonal favorites that don't really have to talk about books. I think it would be a fun way to just combine another one of my interests in addition to books on my channel, and then there we can talk about movies and just everything I've been loving non-bookish related. But in this video, we're gonna do the makeup and books tag using my favorites of 2019, or just all the products that I used and loved and used up multiple times in the year. The first question is for primer, and I use actually just a moisturizer for my primer. I use the Garnier Skin Active Moisture Balm, and it also has SPF in it. And so I like to use this in addition to my sunscreen, and I'm literally already out of this. The question for primer is a book that had a lasting impression. Oh, and by the way, I'm doing all of the questions from Sarah without an H's video, so I will link her video down below. Say a book that had a lasting impression will have to be Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. There is probably not a day that goes by that I don't think about this book and just the messages in it. I really need to reread it soon because I read it recently, but I just want to read it again and again and again. This is my second favorite book of all time, and I just love it and think about it a lot. The next question is for foundation, and this is my all-time favorite foundation. It is the Maybelline Matte and Poreless foundation. I have pretty normal to dry skin, and this is not dry on me whatsoever. This just has the most beautiful natural finish that I haven't been able to find in another foundation. I hate that it's not cruelty free, but I just, every single time I stop using this foundation and I go back and look at myself and like pictures with me wearing this foundation, I'm like, why did I ever stop wearing this? And I go back to wearing it. So I'm the shade 120. I've gotten quite a bit paler since I last purchased this, so this is definitely a shade darker than I should be. And I use the L'Oreal Beauty Blender Beauty Sponge because it's not $20. The question for foundation is your favorite first book in the series, and this definitely goes to The Diviners by Lima Bray. I find that this book is the best in the series, and I haven't really been invested in the story since continuing the series. I still think it's a great series. It's a story about these magical individuals in 1920s New York. There's a lot of social and historical commentary in this book and in this series that I really love, and I appreciate the thoroughness of the execution of it and just how much Lima Bray put into the story and how much thought she put into it, but I just have not had the same feelings that I had reading the first book since continuing the series. The next question is for concealer, and my favorite concealer, one that does not even compete with any other concealer on the market, that is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is so cheap and it's so good. It is full coverage, but it doesn't dry out your eyes. You are going to see ColourPop a lot in this video because I'm poor and I am one of those people who looks for the cheapest product with the highest payoff, like in any aspect of life, and ColourPop just has amazing quality for cheap prices, and we don't deserve them. We really don't. My shading concealer is light 14. I like to go a little lighter under the eyes just because it makes me look like I slept longer than I actually did. This is another product where I need to get a refill because it is running out. I also like to prime my eyes with this concealer, and I like to prime it with the white, which the white is just the Fair 00, and so I'm gonna put that on my eyelids as well. I also like to use this for cut creasing. The question for concealer is a character you wish you could get rid of. This is hands down gonna go to Daisy Jones from Daisy Jones and the Six. I actually would have enjoyed this book immensely more if Daisy Jones was not in it, because she was the most infuriating, privileged, unaware, ignorant, just horrible character that I have read about in a while. She bumped out Lotta from the And I Darken series for my worst, or for my least favorite character of all time. I just despised her so much. Every single time she came on the page, I couldn't help but roll my eyes. I never felt sorry for her. I never cared about her. She ruined the book for me. She ruined everybody's lives and didn't take accountability for any of her actions. And I guess there's something to be said about a character like that, but I don't want to read about them and I don't want to say anything about them, so she's my answer. The next question is for powder, and I actually don't really use powder because I have dry skin and I just never find a use for it. Like, this concealer doesn't crease at all, so I just never use powder. But for the sake of this video, I will, and I always use the Coty Airspun. Again, so cheap, so much product for so little money. And the only bad thing about this is it gets everywhere, and it also kind of smells like an old woman's house. For powder, it's pick your favorite last book in a series. I don't have a ton of books to choose from for this because I don't finish series ever. I am the worst person when it comes to continuing series. You know what? When all else fails, pick a Rick Riordan book. So I'm gonna pick The Last Olympian from the Percy Jackson series. Not Blood of Olympus, because we have beef with her, but The Last Olympian was everything I could have wanted from that series, and its ending, it was action-packed. It had the beautiful underwater Percabeth scene that we all know and love, and we all cried while it happened. What more could you ask for from a finale? Now we're on to eyebrows, and I use the Anastasia Dip Brow in dark brown because this thing lasts ages upon ages, and as you can see, I have huge caterpillar brows, so I don't need a lot to fill in my brows, and this is just 20 bucks and I haven't bought a new one since. Does that mean it has expired and I should get a new one? Probably, but am I going to? No. For eyebrows, the question is pick a book you think everyone should read. I think I have two answers for this. My first answer for this is going to be Side by Neal Shusterman. I don't think it's necessarily a book that everybody needs to read, but it's always the book that I recommend to people who aren't in like the book community. Almost everyone in my family, including their friends, have read Side and they've loved it. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's just the interesting ideas that it brings to light, but I think it's just incredibly gripping and very interesting that even if you're not a reader, you will be entertained and intrigued by it. But a book that I would maybe say everybody in the book community needs to read, I think I'm gonna go with The Gilded Wolves by Roshani Chokshi, because I think that in our community, at least the loudest voices are people who read fantasy, like YA fantasy, and I feel like if we were able to get together and I was able to shove this book in everybody's faces and just skyrocket the book sales for this book, it would be incredibly important for the community and show that books by women of color who are talking about themes like colonialism and privilege and biracial identities and just all of those really marginalized voices and more marginalized ideas that need to be brought to light, and we need to talk about, and we need to be able to see in a fun, fantastical, entertaining fashion. I think that's just really important and just shows the need for it and shows that readers want that and want to support that. The next question is eyeshadow. I have quite a bit of favorites to show you guys on eyeshadow because eyeshadow is my absolute favorite part of makeup. The eyeshadow palette that I have used by far the most, especially on my channel, has been the Morphe 35B palette. This is their rainbow palette. It's been replaced by the James Charles palette. I just love doing color on my eyes. I love when I sit down and spend like an hour and a half doing my makeup. I love to dip into color because it's striking on camera and it's just more fun to play with. But I didn't want to do a colorful eye look today, so we're not going to use her. When I use like natural colors, I really love the Tarte's Pro palette. I'm not a huge fan of Tarte. I think they're a very boring and bland company. But I really love this palette because it has the neutrals down here, but it also has pinks, purples, and like the orangey tones, so I can create 4 different looks with this palette, and it's just really easy to dip into, and the colors are extremely pigmented, which I love. So that's the palette we're going to use today. And as far as single shadows, my absolute favorite ColourPop product is the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows. This is the first product I tried from ColourPop back when they first started out, and I have used them ever since. I have a huge collection of them. The one that I'm going to use today is Kathleen Lights, which is a very coppery gold color. The question for eyeshadow is, what is a book that has all of your favorite colors on the cover? My favorite color is actually yellow, despite my whole vibe behind me and my whole room. I do love pink, don't get me wrong. Pink is definitely my second favorite color, but I really love yellow because it's just, I don't know, it's a fun color. I look really great in yellow, so that obviously helps. I'm a Leo, so that's just a very Leo color, yellow, gold. It's our vibe. The covers that have yellow on the cover are Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. It's not on the cover, but it is on the spine. I'm looking at it right now. There's also Let's Call It a Doomsday by Katie Henry. That is more of a mustardy orange yellow, but I mean, it's still yellow. I don't have a ton of yellow books, I feel like. If we're talking about pink, I mean, I already decorate my background with pink books. We have Lovely War by Julie Berry. There's Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi. There's Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I'm covered in the pink department. Hello, welcome back. The next question is for eyeliner. Hands down, my favorite eyeliner of all time, like 2019 from like 2015, is the e.l.f. liquid liner. The brush in here is just the easiest eyeliner to use, and I have trained myself to do my eyeliner in 2 minutes because I like to sleep in for school. The question for eyeliner is a dark and mysterious book. Dark and mysterious book. Huh. A dark and mysterious book. Oh my god, why did it take me so long to think about this book? Obviously, I'm gonna pick House of Song and Sorrows by Aaron A. Craig. I bet you guys thought you'd seen the last of me when I stopped talking about this book for 2 days. House of Song and Sorrows is the freaking scariest book I've ever freaking read in my life. Now, granted, that doesn't mean anything because I don't read horror and I don't read scary things, but it is so incredibly creepy. A lot of people compare it to Crimson Peak, which I haven't seen the movie, but I have seen screenshots of it, and I can tell the overall like aesthetics of it and vibes of it. That's exactly what this book is. It's just a creepy Manor by the Sea story with ghosts and just creepy, creepy imagery. The reveal when we learn what is actually happening is just the creepiest chapter I've ever read. So this hands down has to go to House of Salt and Sorrows. The next question is for mascara, and I use the Almay Thickening Mascara. I don't really have a preference to mascara because it doesn't really do much for me. I don't really notice much of a difference with my lashes regardless of if I wear it or not. So I actually end up forgetting mascara a lot of times during the day, and it just makes taking off makeup even harder. So I'm just not a huge mascara person in general. The question for mascara is to pick a long book, and for that I'm picking my current read, which is Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I was determined to have this read by the end of 2019, but I don't think that's actually going to happen. I have started it, but I'm only like 50 pages into it, and it's just a really long book, and it's a epic high fantasy, so that makes it even longer to get through. So that I think definitely qualifies for this question. So I noticed that there isn't questions for contour or bronzer, which is criminal because I can't live without my bronzer or contour. I absolutely love the NYX Wonder Stick. I use it every single day. I can't live without chiseled cheekbones, even if I look a little orange. Like, it's fine. I don't care. I need the Neapolitan on my cheeks. I know some people don't like it. I know plenty of people don't like it, but I like to look like an ice cream sandwich, and contour is a crucial step of the Neapolitans. I didn't prepare to not have questions, so you guys are just going to admire the chiseling of the cheeks. Now, probably my favorite discovery of 2019 was the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. I cannot fathom the fact that I used that orange ass Donald Trump looking Hoola bronzer from Benefit Cosmetics instead of using this beauty. It's a crime, and it's one that I will never commit ever again. The perfect shade of bronzer that I've ever tried on my face. It tastes like chocolate when you get a little bit on your tongue while you're applying, and I could not imagine using anything else on my face pertaining to bronzer. Look at those cheeks. Now, the next question is blush, and I wanted to highlight the Bare Minerals All Over Face Color in Trudy. These products are extremely old, so I don't even know if they're available anymore, and I know the thought of a loose blush probably scares a lot of people, and honestly it scares me too sometimes, but I just really love the colors in this, and I find that it blends so beautifully into the skin that I can't help but use it. And now that I'm not as scared of blush anymore, I used to not like blush at all, but now that I'm kind of gotten into it more, I'm not afraid to go a little more heavy-handed with it. It kind of leaves like a glowiness that you probably can't see on camera, but I can see in the mirror when I'm looking at myself, so that's all that matters. The question for blush is pick a book with a cringe-worthy romance. What's a book that I was cringing about the romance in? I'm sure there's one that like editing me is gonna be screaming at me that I didn't pick this. He needs a wife so he can control his urges. So you are gonna be his wife, and it's gonna be a win-win because you don't have to go to jail and he can get his dick wet. So they get married. When's the last book I read that I hated the romance in? That in and of itself should garner a pretty strong enemies to lovers relationship, right? That's what I thought, but no. He's got pretty blue eyes and gives her a romance book, and she's like, oh my god, he's so pretty. No. Yeah. It's Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Now for highlighter, I have two options. This year I used the crap out of the Dream Sequence palette from ColourPop. It has 4 colors. One of them has left us ripped to Mr. Wind. I used the crap out of this pink highlighter because I just love with the colored eyes and then the slightly tinted highlighter. I think it's so pretty. But my all-time favorite highlighter is the ColourPop Lunch Money highlighter. Nothing will ever come close to Lunch Money. Flexitarian tries to be that girl, and I know a lot of people love Flexitarian, but Lunch Money is everything you could ever want to put on your face. The question is to pick a book that brightened your day. Let's go with Red, Wine, Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, because I haven't talked about that book yet in this tag, and I think that pertains perfectly to this question, and I feel like a lot of people will be able to agree with me. This book is just so funny, and it's so wholesome, and it's so hope-inflicting. It's just a great read, and I don't need to talk much about Red Wine Royal Blue because I think everybody understands how amazing that book is. Alright, so the final question is going to be for lipstick, and this one I have a lip combo for you guys. Again, ColourPop, nobody's surprised. Times Square is my favorite nude. It's like a pinky brown nude that is my perfect shade, and I also love their glosses, and this is the Fantasia gloss. It has a little bit of gold sparkle in it, but like not too much that it's obnoxious. The question for lipstick is, what is your favorite book kiss? This one is gonna go to Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. I absolutely adored the romance in here, and the only reason it was 3 stars instead of 4 is because the romance wasn't in there enough. I needed the romance more, and I remember when I read the first kiss scene, it was so spicy and lovely. The chemistry between Tana and Gabriel is off the charts in this book, and it is hands down the best part of the book. Alright, so that is it, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're excited for maybe some more makeup content on my channel. Let me know down below what you think about that. If you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed my content, please leave a like. It really helps out my channel, and make sure you subscribe because this is the kicking off of my 2-week-long venture of posting every single day in the month of December. So don't miss any of those videos. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!